And we're back for our finals.
We are
playing for this lovely trophy here.
Yep.
The new winner of Scandinavian Open Stockholm. We have Sandor.
Yep.
Playing his red-black Goblins deck.
Yep. Against
Jesper, who we just saw dispatch elves.
Yep.
Playing Food Chain.
So interesting matchup. What do you think?
I feel like it's a lot of this is going to circle around whether or not Sandro can find his Cabal therapies.
Yeah.
If Sandro knows what he's playing against, he's probably going to be mulliganing very aggressively to try to find those.
Yeah, and as we saw in the quarterfinals, Cabal therapy, big time.
Yeah, if he can get that and then follow it up with any creature, and he has numerous of them.
Yeah.
He can start tearing apart his opponent's hand pretty quickly.
Yeah. So hand disruption very effective against combo decks. What is the Food Chain player's alternate route to victory besides the combo?
Well, he does have one Tombstalker that he can play and try to beat down with, but I don't think that really is a good option in this matchup.
Mm. So players are shuffling up here. There we go. Jesper versus Sandro.
So Jesper will be playing first. Sandro being on the draw for every game so far in the top 8.
Yep.
Not having lost a single one.
So we'll see if the same will be true for the finals. Here in the Scandinavian Open, Stockholm, Sweden. And this is the first tournament of 2015, the 2015 season.
Yes. We'll be having our next tournament in Gothenburg.
Yeah.
April 25th and 26th. We'll be playing a sealed deck on Saturday, I believe, and then Standard and Legacy again on Sunday.
Yeah. So the Scandinavian Open Series, much like the Star City Games Open Series, travels to different cities.
Yes, not every weekend, but no. We're doing it quarterly.
Yep.
With we have a top 8 players at the end of the season who are going to be all invited to play for a weekend.
Yep.
For I think it's 10,000 crowns and prizes.
Yeah.
Last I saw.
Much like a Players Championship.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to Gothenburg?
I have not decided yet. I should. I have not been to Gothenburg yet. I have not made my way around most of Sweden yet.
All right. A good reason as any to go.
Yes,
play some Magic.
Definitely.
But you are a Magic judge.
Yes. So if I go, it'll be to. Most likely, maybe do what I did here. So I was a head judge yesterday, and then playing Legacy today. It's really hard to pass up playing a Legacy event.
Yeah.
All the viewers that are watching, I'm sure you're watching because Legacy is a very interesting format, very fun to watch, very intriguing.
Yeah. And we're away.
Sandro with his turn 1 Goblin Lackey.
There we go. Jesper just played a Delta.
It's safe to assume that cavern. Named Goblins.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to name.
I don't think he'd ever name anything else in this deck.
That's why it's called a tribal deck.
Yes.
We have there's some different tribals floating around in Magic. Elves and goblins.
Elves and goblins are the
Merfolk.
The two and Merfolk. Yeah, of course. I lost to Merfolk today, so how could I forget that? Are the two of the more well-known ones.
Yeah. And they're different in some respects. They all are kind of synergistic decks.
Very, yes. But one kills you with a combo and the other just kills you with a bunch of creatures.
Yeah. So Jesper Holm is tapping a mana. He's brainstorming. Brainstorming first printed in Ice Age, I believe.
Was it?
I think so.
Maybe earlier. Did Ice Age come after or before Mercadian Mass?
Yeah, I am not sure.
I believe it was after.
Yeah.
I am not very knowledgeable when it comes to old Magic sets, given that I started playing in Scars of Mirrodin. So, but I believe Mercadian Mass was where that was first printed.
Yeah, very good card, especially if you have fetch lands in play.
It's become quite a staple. Basically a 4 of in every single blue deck
Yeah.
in Legacy.
Sure. So he's brainstorming away, see what he found. Jesper has Abrupt Decay, Force of Will, Swamp, Food Chain, Manipulate Fate, and another Force of Will. So he has
Quite a loaded hand.
yeah. He has permission. He has removal.
You should be able to just pass turn with his Food Chain up here.
Take care of that.
Or sorry.
Goblin.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, Abrupt Decay.
We'll just Abrupt Decay the Lackey. That seems a little more important.
Yeah. And here we have...
And Sandor does not have a second land. He's just playing the Vial and passing.
Yeah. So a Verdant Catacomb. Drawn for Jesper. Just playing Kraken. Yep. Go in the fetching.
Yeah, so it looks like Jesper will most likely just want to be playing his Food Chain here before passing the turn.
Yep. So trying to get his combo engine online, while Sandor is kind of stumbling on his land drops.
Yeah, it's actually better for him to have the Food Chain in play because I don't believe there's any artifact or any enchantment hate in the Goblins main deck.
No. It is not.
Or in the sideboard for that matter.
I mean, he can preemptively hand disrupt it.
Yeah, he can get it with Cabal Therapy. So definitely the safest place for the card is going to be
on the battlefield.
Yes, but he's actually choosing to manipulate fate here instead.
Okay, so this is two lines of play he chooses here. What is the merit for playing this versus playing Food Chain?
Well, it cantrips. You don't necessarily need to have the Food Chain right now, and it's possible that he doesn't know that Sandor is playing Cabal Therapy. All he's seen is a Cabin of Souls, a Goblin Lackey, and an Aether Vial. So it's... I don't think I know... so it doesn't look like Sandor has any Cabal Therapies in hand, so it's not going to be an issue here. But
he has a bunch of Goblins, along with the Tar of Fire.
Yeah, and it looks like he just drew a Lackey there for the turn.
Yeah. So, I mean, that Aether Vial is going to be a very valuable for Sandor. Stumbling on land drops, he can get his Goblins going a little bit without having necessarily to hit his land drops. Here's the Food Chain with the Misthollow Griffins in exile. Now stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, we have a Lackey coming into play here off the Aether Vial before ticking up to 2. So things could get a little interesting here.
Yeah. Sort of heating up. Jesper has Hollow Griffin in exile and Food Chain on the battlefield, and we have a Lackey ready to come in to the red zone. We will see if he will do anything before combat. Sandor's thinking about his options. This is the finals, after all. You have to be methodical.
A little bit. So it looks like Sandor is going to want to come in here with, obviously attack with his Lackey.
Sure. But I see a Wasteland in Sandor's hand, I believe. Or it's not.
Yes, that is Wasteland.
So here comes the Lackey. Will it connect?
Looks
Most
like
likely.
it did. So he's put his Chieftain, his War Chief here into play.
Yeah. Goblin War Chief, one of the lords of the Goblin deck.
Yeah, so he has 2 options here. He can either Wasteland one of Jesper's lands, and hoping to keep him off his 4th land next turn, chain all of his Misthollow Griffins together. Or he can play the Wasteland, and now that all of his Goblins cost 1 less thanks to the Goblin War Chief, he can play a Matron.
Yeah. So we'll see what line of play Sandor will choose here. Maybe one we haven't thought of. But we'll see. See some... There we go.
And it looks like he is going with the Matron.
Yeah. He's trying to build his resources
so
a little bit.
Most likely is going to get a Goblin Pile Driver here. I think he wants, he really needs a way to close this game out as quickly as he can.
Yeah, because he knows that Jesper will go off.
Well, it could be next turn. So
Yeah.
he's by not wastelanding, he's basically just trying to get this game over with as soon as he can, hoping that Jesper doesn't have either an Emrakul or a fierce empath in hand.
Yeah. Which is, which I would say is correct. I mean, you have to go for the win, go for your outs. Just hope that your opponent does not draw what the opponent.
Well, and
needs.
if you go with the play of the wasteland, if Jesper has a land in hand, then you just did nothing.
Yeah. So we will see. Jesper is going through his deck as it's fetching. Do you play a lot of fetches in your deck?
Nope.
No fetches?
None. Although we've been joking a little lately, now that there's some of the Death and Taxes lists are playing 4 Flagstones of Trocir. That
oh, really?
they're kind of your mini fetch land.
Yeah.
For only planes.
All right, here we go.
So it looks
Here
like
comes-
we're casting a bunch of Griffins.
Yep. Here come the Griffins.
Making a bunch of mana.
Yep.
And
Strix.
Casting a Baleful Strix, drawing a card. And casting a Deathrite Shaman.
Yep. And a bunch of stuff.
And
is
a
coming.
Tombstalker.
Oh, here we go. Stuff is happening. And he will vial in.
Vial and a Pile Driver.
Yep. And somebody's displaying something. There we go.
I think he's
Tapping.
explaining to possibly the judge what's going on. So
Yeah.
I think, does Sandor have another matron here?
Sunrise Matron, Torfire, Goblin Edict, Pile Driver. Or maybe not.
The Pile Driver is in
Yeah.
play
In play.
now. So
Let's see what he does.
so yeah, he's ticked his vial up to 3. So unfortunately, Jesper now has 2 black creatures that are going to be able to block those Pile Drivers.
Yeah.
Because Sandor's probably his best line of play here is to put his matron into play off the vial, use that to fetch up a Goblin Pile Driver, and then put the Pile Driver into play.
Yeah. Swing for as much as possible.
Yes.
Sandor is considering his options. Tapping some mana.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it looks like he'll play the matron off of his lands instead.
Yeah.
And then he's going to fetch a.
We'll see.
So well, he's going to want to fetch something at 3 here. So
Yeah.
I guess another. So he's going to start chaining matrons together.
Okay. And he's just passing a
He's
turn.
passing the turn.
Okay. Can he afford to do this?
Well, he doesn't really have any good attacks right now.
No.
Had he drawn a land there that turn, he could have then matroned into matron off the vial and then played a Pile Driver, which might let him be able to attack for enough. But I don't think so.
Yeah, and the Hollow Griffins are coming in through the air. It's 9.
Or is it?
Maybe not. No.
We're backing up here.
Okay.
Or is he just passing?
We will find out momentarily. It's a little bit of confusion here. We will get this game state corrected momentarily. We'll
So it looks
see.
like he has passed the turn.
Okay. He chose not to attack. No.
Which seems rather strange. So if you attack with the... Or he did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay,
did.
no. So he did attack with them, and so what you can do again with food chains, because you can sacrifice.
Yeah, sure.
So he attacks for 9, and then sacrifices all the griffins, and then just replace them.
Yeah.
So they have pseudo vigilance, right?
Sure. So Sandor is shuffling hers. Another matron. Did he draw land? Sandor is looking at his hand. He's got Goblin Edict, Tarfire, and the 4th Goblin Matron.
Yes. So let's see what he wants to get off this one.
So this is probably...
A Krenko.
Oh, Krenko. With a lot of goblins. Hanging around. Counting it up.
So that's 8.
It's 8 goblins. Coming on in. They all have haste.
Mm-hmm.
Now will this be the large alpha strike?
Well, he is dead next turn, so this is
So he
this
has
is the only his only spot to really pick.
Yeah. It's just a lot of goblins. The mob boss. And we are attacking with a whole bunch of goblins.
So
Jesper is sort of picking them all up, just ordering them, like, okay, how many are coming at me?
So 8 tokens plus 7, so 14. So that's I think that's a 29 power Goblin pile driver.
Yeah.
I think you might want to block that one.
Yeah. That's a big pile driver.
There's thank you to our spotter for informing us of what those tokens are.
Yeah, they are indeed goblins. And Jesper is just lining up his blocks here, trying to defend his life total. I have different illustrations of goblins.
That's a much better goblin token.
Yeah. Now, opinions vary. Opinions vary. Or subjective aesthetics vary. But we have blocks here.
It looks like he's taking 8. And then he'll activate his Deathrite Shaman, removing his Manipulate Fate to ping Sandor for 2.
Yeah.
Which should leave him with lethal on
because then he goes to
the
9.
with the Griffins.
Yeah. Goes to 9 and then Jesper has 9 through the air. So even though this is a huge attack, Jesper will survive it. There we go. Damage is resolving. Counting him up. A lot of goblins are coming through. And Jesper's life total is reduced significantly, but he has lethal in the air. Coming on in. Trucking on in.
And that's game 1. So the first game for Sandor to lose in our top 8 today.
Yeah. So the Mist Hollow Griffins getting it done. Along with Food Chain and other combo shenanigans.
Yes. So, to the sideboards.
Yeah.
So we have here for Food Chain, we have a Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Thorn of Amethyst, 1 Relic of Progenitus, an Umazawa's Jite, a Reclamation Sage, 2 Obstinate Balos, a Tidespout Tyrant.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
2 Thoughtseize, a Toxic Deluge, 2 Engineered Plague, and 1 Extirpate. He's got a lot of nice little goodies here.
Yeah, I imagine that the engineer play comes in.
Yeah.
Naming goblins.
Yeah. That seems like a safe bet. The Toxic Deluge seems like a good one here as well.
Yeah, good sweeper.
Jite, of course. And I'm curious to see if he brings in Tidespout Tyrant, which seems like a reasonable card to bring in this place as well, I think.
Yeah. What do you think about the Obstinate Bailoff? Is it too slow? Because it is 4 life and a huge blocker. Maybe a bit too slow on the slow side.
The Bailoff might be something he'd bring in. I imagine that's a card that he has in there for
burn.
Opponents like you.
Yeah, definitely a good card against me.
Yeah,
I've faced it a number of times. It's always an interesting dynamic when you're holding up Skullcrack mana, trying to play around that card. But yeah, he has some good quality options. What is he taking out to make room for all this stuff?
So I don't know if he really wants the Tombstalker.
A bit too on the slow side.
Yeah, I don't think it just really does too much for him.
Yeah.
Past that, it's maybe you cut some of the Shardless Agents.
Yeah.
For just more, I guess, silver bullets.
Yeah. What about cutting the Sylvan library? Because it's
the Sylvan libraries, it's
okay.
nice as a one-of.
Yeah.
It's helpful, but yeah, it's not something that you necessarily need to keep.
Yeah. And we'll see what he will take out eventually. So, in Sandor's sideboard, we have 4 Chalice of the Void, 1 Cabal Therapy, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Relic of Pretenders, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 Engineered Plague, 1 Tuk-Tuk Scrapper, 1 Pyrokinesis, 1 Perish, and 1 Deathmark. So, what do we like here? I imagine Cabal Therapy and Thoughtseize coming in.
For sure.
Yeah, because this is a combo deck, and we have seen Sandor tear apart combo decks in this top 8. So I believe Cabal Therapy, Thoughtseize, maybe, I don't know. That's it.
That's probably it. I don't know if this is really one of the decks that he has Chalice of the Void for. He does have reasonable targets for it, but
not very many, like, because he has like Food Chain is on 2.
Food Chain is 3.
Yeah, 3.
So that's Goblins is never casting a 6-mana spell.
No, they're not.
But you can take off their Force of Wills. You can take their Deathrite Shamans and their Ponders.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem quite as valuable as it does in the Delver matchups.
No. So we'll see what the players will bring in. They are. Well, one of them is shuffling his deck. Sandor's still pondering his sideboard options. He has to win 2 games now to win this, and Jesper just has to win 1.
Yeah.
So have you ever been in a position where you're 1 game away of winning? A tournament?
What kind of a tournament of this caliber or?
Well, just any tournament.
Well, I beat you in game day last week.
You did.
In the finals. So there was that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've won probably nothing really substantial while playing. But some smaller events here and there.
Yeah. It's always interesting to be in the finals, because I was actually in that position with Jesper in now. Yeah, game day, facing you in the finals.
Yep. Yeah, that was
mono red versus
of course, mono red.
Jeskai tokens.
Jeskai tokens,
yeah.
yes.
I was up a game.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, and then you took the next 2. It was.
So it's a fun matchup.
Yeah.
Well, I just love Jeskai tokens. It's the only format I can really play Treasure Cruise in now.
Yeah,
so I'm
there
not
you
playing
go.
Vintage.
Treasure Cruise is relegated to Standard.
Apparently, it's a really good card.
Yeah. Especially
Who knew? Drawing 3 cards.
Yeah. And doing crazy stuff when you have the Jeskai Ascendancy out.
Oh yeah, if our game 2, I remember you were.
Yeah, I was just.
I was at 4, and I think you were at 18.
Yeah.
I untapped with 3 goblins in play, and I did like 19 damage to you.
Went off. Yeah.
Any deck in Sandor that can do that is a deck that sign me up.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. So we have different level of tournaments, but they're all fun to play in. You always learn, no matter what level of Magic you're playing. Kitchen table tournaments, you're always getting the experience, learning things.
Yeah.
That you can apply to.
Sandor's had he's had quite a good day today. He was our round 1 feature match, I believe. Yep. Had him here in the booth, and he just I think he started 5-0.
Yeah, he did.
Lost his last 2 rounds.
Yeah,
squeaked in 8th on breakers, and
here he is in the finals.
Yeah, it's apparently being on the draw is where he wants to be in the finals in all of top 8.
Yeah. So we'll see. He will be on the play here, which is obviously favorable for the Goblin player. Turn 1 Lackey.
Turn 1 Lackey.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. Although he did have, was it last round? Oh yeah, it was. He had turn 1 Lackey. It's always an interesting first turn with Goblins when you have a hand with turn 1 Lackey and turn 1 Aether Vial.
Yeah.
It's 2 very competing interests.
Mm.
A card like Deathrite Shaman has definitely made it more valuable to be leading on a Lackey, though. That's actually one of the reasons why when I was playing Goblins, I was starting to play a lot more Tarfires, which is, as you can see, Sandor's doing the same.
Yeah.
So Goblin Lackey into Tarfiring their Deathrite Shaman is very, very common open.
Yeah.
To be able to actually get through.
So we are underway here in game number 2 of the Scandinavian Open Finals. Sandor is leading with a Aetherwile. In turn 1, we have an island for Jesper. Into Ponder. Always a good, nice way of setting up your next turn. Let's see what he will choose here. Will he keep them on top, or will he shuffle them back? And he chooses to keep them on top. So good card.
Never a good sign for your opponent.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you scry, keep that on top. Oh, it's a good card.
Yeah.
So here we go. Tiles, or Aetherwile.
That's a well on one here.
Yeah. Playing land, playing a fetch. And here we have...
Cabal Therapy.
The dreaded Cabal Therapy.
What is he naming?
What did he name? What would you name?
In the dark, after a turn 1 Ponder, you might name... Do you want to name Force? I don't know if you want to name Force of Will, because he might not have even kept Force of Wills in his deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like something you care about too much.
Would you name Mist Hollow to put it into graveyard? Would that mess the combo up?
No. So you don't actually need all the Mist Hollows. One of the actually handy reasons why the deck plays 3 is because he's not playing them. You can Intuition.
No, sure.
So you end up getting 1 anyways.
Yeah.
And you can I've seen players Intuition end up getting 1 and then pitch it to Force of Will in response to another spell.
There we go. Putting it in deck, huh?
Yeah.
So Sandor did not hit anything. We didn't know what he meant.
I imagine he most likely would just want to name Food Chain in this position.
So we'll see. We have Deathrite Shaman. And we have basic lands on Jesper Holm's side of the table, and we have non-basic lands on Sandor's side. Intuition, great card. From Weatherlight, way back. Magic has been around since 1993. It's quite a while for a card.
When was... I don't know when Weatherlight was. A long time ago.
Yeah. In the distant past. And here we are, 2015 Scandinavian Open Finals.
Playing for some pretty good prizes here.
Yeah.
First place, 2 Underground Seas, a tropical island, and 25 Scandinavian Open points.
Yeah.
Second place, 2 tropical islands and 14 Scandinavian Open points. So I believe is enough for both of these players to have a bye in the first round for the rest of the Scandinavian Open events this year.
Yeah, which is a big deal.
A big deal.
Yeah. Coming into tournament with a win and then playing round 2. Yes, it's very, very, very good. You get some more time to sleep in.
Yeah, you can sleep. You can
do
it. Yeah, you can go scout a little bit. It's also nice not playing especially with so when Grand Prix had 3 buys.
Yeah.
You'd show up to say a standard Grand Prix, and there would be you're coming for a meta game, and someone shows up with some deck out of left field that you can't beat because no one ever expected someone to play those 60 cards together.
Yeah.
So you can try to avoid some of those shenanigans as well by having your nice buys in the first few rounds.
Yeah. There we have
Starfire on the Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah. Let's see if that one will resolve. And yes, Deathrite Shaman is off the table. Wasteland.
Sandor's just passing the turn back here.
Yeah.
Quick, Jesper's going to brainstorm end of turn.
Yeah. Wasteland, another common land in Legacy.
Very. A little more so now that Treasure Cruise is gone.
Yeah.
Was starting to see a little bit of a downturn since you didn't want to give your opponent an extra card in the graveyard just to be able to cast Treasure Cruise.
Yeah. The land promises nothing and keeps its promise. Indeed.
It's uncommon from...
Weatherlight.
Was
or maybe
Tempest.
Reprint. Yeah, Tempest. There we go. Wasteland is always a very interesting, very versatile card. I mean, I play Price of Progress, and they can just sack it, destroy itself.
Have you had anyone Wasteland their own lands?
Yeah.
Against you?
Yeah, sure. They have.
My round one opponent did that to. I think he. I can't remember if he actually did, but Wasteland his Savannah when he had 3 or 4 Knights of the Reliquary in play.
Ah, there we go. You won that one, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. All right, here we are. We have a Violet 3. We have a Death Arch Shaman.
And a Shardless Agent.
Yeah. Shardless Agent, a card that has bestowed its name upon a deck. Shardless Bug.
Shardless Bug, yeah. Another one of those cards that Wizards printed in one of their supplemental sets. I believe it was Plane Chase 2012 that came out in. So there was Shardless Agent and another card that Jesper is playing in his deck from that same set. Baleful Strix.
Yeah. So, Cascade 2/2.
Cascade mechanic is well loved by a lot of players, it seems, or hated if you play Modern, and don't enjoy playing against some hasty creatures that bring along friends.
So here we are. Chromox. Exiling. There we go. What is exiling there? Pyrokinesis.
That looks like Pyrokinesis.
Yeah. So here we go.
This looks like we're going to get a Goblin Matron into a Krenko.
Yeah. Krenko the Mob Boss. Which made quite an army last game, but was not quite enough. We'll see if he has more luck and fares better in this game.
Krenko's one of the few additions that Goblins has gotten the last few years.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why a lot of players have shied away from Goblins a lot lately is every other Legacy deck keeps getting new cards printed for it.
Yeah.
While Goblins kind of gets left alone a lot.
Yeah.
If Krenko Mob Boss, and then I think the last thing that was printed that really saw much play would be Warren Instigator, which a lot of players don't really play too much anymore either.
No. So Deathrite Shaman activation. Going after Sandor's life total. And here we go. Engineered Plague is hitting the battlefield. Hibardian, not surprisingly.
Not surprising, no.
Naming Goblins.
Goblins,
they're
yes.
all shrinking a little bit. Standard saw an equivalent in Curse of Death Soul.
Curse of Death Soul. We saw not a very well played card in the format, I believe, but it did crop up in some sideboards here and there to combat Lingering Souls decks.
Yeah. So Sandor was wastelanding the Underground Sea, cutting off black mana. So Jesper Holm is stuck with well, he has 2 lands, but he can make some mana with his Deathrite Shaman. It's 3 abilities on that creature. It's a veritable toolbox.
Yes.
You can gain some life. You can
a
drain some
mono.
life.
Well, almost a mono black Birds of Paradise at times.
And here we have
An Abrupt Decay. Ooh.
Which is not hit the Lord.
Well, but it looks like we're going to be taking out that file.
Sure. No activation in response, because Sandor doesn't...
I'm not too sure what the card he has there in hand, but if it's a Goblin that costs 3, it would most likely be a Goblin Matron, which would just die.
Yeah. He would still got the trigger, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would have been able to tutor something else up, but I don't know if it's really... It's hard to say what you'd want at that point. Exactly. You might want to wait.
So the Engineered Plague is really bothersome card. All the 1/1s are just going to die. And then here's a Brainstorm. Drawing 3. See what he's got. He's got a Tombstalker, Charlotte's Agent. Baleful Strix, Mr. Lagriffin. So
looks like a tropical island, and probably just activating Deathrite Shaman.
Yep. Is he going?
And what do we have here? Do we have another Shardless Agent?
Ah, he wants to land. So he's producing mana. What's he casting?
That is a Food Chain.
Ah, he's disassembling in different pieces here. Chaining up. Oh. We have Baleful Strix hitting the battlefield. We have another Baleful Strix. Oh, we have a Tombstalker going crazy. A lot of permanents hitting the battlefield. Tombstalker from Time Spiral
Future
Block.
Sight.
Future Sight, yeah.
One of the more, probably the most prominently played Del Spell in Legacy up until Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time.
Yep. It's
usually a one of in most bugless, although it was a lot more popular before the printing of Shardless Agent.
Yeah. So Sandor is 16. He does play the Goblin Incinerator. Cycles it. Take out.
He's taking out a Baleful Strix.
Yeah. Maybe the only reasonable target he has here.
Yeah, he can only cycle it for one.
Yeah. Just trying to get something going. Trying card. This is a tough board for Sandor to deal with. He has no way of getting the Engineer Plague off the table. From what I know. So,
No, it doesn't look like he does. That's one of those cards that he has to Thoughtseize away before it gets into play.
And now he's in play, so we'll see if he can combat through this. Jesper playing a land. Will this be a big attack? He has a lot of air power. He can hit for 9 and 9 in the air.
Yep.
He hits for 9. What would you do here?
Well, you might. There's no reason to attack with the Baleful Strix because attacking for 8 when Sandor's at 16, you already have a 2-turn clock, so you might as well just leave the Baleful Strix back to block here.
Going down to 8. This is looking grim for Sandor. Drawing a card. Are we moments away? We will see if Sandor can pull out of this.
I don't think there's any real live draws that Sandor has here.
No. If he just passes here, then he will be eliminated. We will see what happens. Here we go, Cabal Therapy.
Just a couple turns too late.
Yeah, a little bit late to the party. He's responding. With
choosing. Looks like he's going to Abrupt Decay the Vial in response.
Yeah. Just taking out as many permanents as he can. Relevant ones. He has 1 card in hand. It's a land. And yeah. I'm just hitting. No, it's just
the futile.
Yeah,
I'll swing with my
last act of defiance.
My 2/2.
And there we go. Yes.
And there we have it. Your champion, Jesper Holm, playing Food Chain, Scandinavian Open Legacy champion.
Yep. For